Welcome back to another biology class, students. So today we are studying the last part of plant tissues, and that is the epidermis or the epidermal tissues. You either call them epidermis or epidermal tissues. The word epidermis, you can break it down into two words, epi and dermis. The word derma you might have heard in some of the advertisements, shampoo advertisements, soap advertisements. You must have heard about the word dermatologist, dermatology, right? So this word dermis or dermatology, dermatologist comes from the word derma. The derma means skin. Derma is the skin. Either hair or even the skin is considered to be derma. The covering, the outermost covering is derma, right? And epi, the word epi means outer. So epidermis, the word epidermis means the outer covering of tissues. Outer covering of tissues is the epidermis. In plants, it is called epidermis. In animals, you will study, we will call it epithelial tissues. The meaning is the same. Epidermis means outer covering of tissues, of the inner lying tissues. Okay, so what does this epidermis do? Why do other tissues require to be covered? Two reasons for that. One main reason is protection. The inner tissues, the tissues that are lying inside, require protection. Protection from many environmental factors, heat, cold, water stress, etc., including microorganisms. Infection from microorganisms. If there is no outer covering, microorganisms can easily enter into the inner lying tissues and destroy them, infect them and destroy them, eat them up, etc. So epidermis helps in protection of the inner lying tissues. That is one work of the epidermis. There is another work to the epidermis. What does this epidermis do actually? Is it will prevent water loss. It prevents the water loss from the inner tissues. The tissues that are present inside have to be bit moist or wet, because all the chemical activities they happen in the water, in aqueous medium. So most of the cells are wet or they are moist at least. This moisture should not be lost from the cells, and epidermis helps to prevent that. It helps in preventing water loss. So these are the two functions of epidermis: prevents the inner lying tissues from outer environmental factors, biotic factors as well as abiotic factors. And the second important function is it prevents water loss or moisture loss from the inner lying tissues. That is the epidermis function, that is the role of epidermis in the plant. Okay, now if we see epidermis, they have some specific characters. The characters are that the epidermis is usually a single layer of cells. You can see this single layer of cells. Here there is one single layer. You see the outermost region, they are flat and single layer of cells, that is the epidermis. So epidermis means the outer layer, and usually it is single celled layer. It is a single celled layer. Here you can see very clearly single celled layer. The first important characteristic of epidermis is it is a single celled layer. Second important characteristic of epidermis is that it is continuous. Continuous means there are no gaps in the middle. They are continuous. You can see them one after the other. They are tightly packed. If there are gaps, the moisture from inside can easily escape. So there are no gaps. They are continuous, and the continuous layer prevents either factors from entering inside the tissues or the moisture from inside the tissues to escape. Inside I have drawn parenchyma. You remember those parenchyma cells? You can see, identify them. They are oval or rounded in shape, and they have a lot of air spaces. Parenchyma have to have air spaces. So parenchyma, this parenchyma, they will have air space, but these are epidermis. They do not have air spaces in the middle. They are tightly packed, right? So that is epidermis. It protects the inner lying tissues of plants. That should be very clear to you. Okay, now epidermis has a simple role, just protection, just covering the parts of the plant, whether root, stem or leaf, even fruits. Epidermis covers the outer, covers the tissues inside the plant parts. Okay, in some places in plants, epidermis takes a major role, much more than just protection. I have drawn three diagrams here showing you the different roles of epidermis other than protection that it can do. This is the stem. Stem or root, they have the same sort of arrangement of cells. Now, whether it is a stem or roots, you will see these single layer of cells surrounding the inner lying tissues. Inner cells are rounded cells, many of them are rounded. So they are parenchyma and some of them are sclerenchyma inside, and you will see vascular bundles also in different arrangements you will find in the stem and in the roots. We don't have to get into that. We have to look at the epidermis, the outermost layer of cells. So whether it be stem or it be root, the epidermis does the same things. It prevents things from moving inside the cell, inside the tissues, and it also prevents the loss of moisture from inside the tissues. Okay, but in many plants, in the stem you will find hair-like structures coming out. Especially in if you see a sunflower plant, you will find tiny hair-like structures coming out from the stem. These tiny hair-like structures are not called hair; they are called trichomes. Trichomes are multicellular hair-like structures present in the stem. They are known as trichomes. Okay, they are present there for protection in many plants. These hair have acidic contents inside. So when you touch these hair, they will release the acid in your hand and you will find it itchy. Many plants, when you touch them, you will find itching because of the acid present in the trichomes. And other plants, they help in photosynthesis in the stem and other functions they have. So hair in the stem, they are called trichomes, and they are special structures present in the epidermis of the stem. And if this was not a stem, if this was a root, then you will find unicellular hair in them. Unicellular hair come out from the epidermis of the roots. Unicellular hair in the roots. What are they doing? They are called also root hair. These tiny hair-like structures in the roots are known as root hair. They are unicellular. Trichomes was multicellular hair. Root hair is unicellular in the roots. What are these hair doing in the roots? What does the root do? What is the function of the root? Absorption of water. So if the roots have more surface area, more water will be absorbed. So these root hair, the epidermis will not absorb water, but the root hair in the roots are designed to absorb water from the soil. They do not allow water from inside to go out, but they will allow water to enter inside the roots. Okay, so they are like sponges. They will absorb water, but only one direction, unidirectional, from soil to the roots. This is the work of the root hair. Root hair or trichomes, they both look like hair-like structures. Trichomes are present in stem, root hair is present in the roots. They are special structures or modifications of the epidermis. Okay, some special structures of the epidermis. Let's see the next. Here, what I have drawn is a section of a leaf. This is the upper epidermis of the leaf, the upper covering of the leaf, which looks dark green and it looks oily or waxy from top, very smooth from top. And if you see the bottom, it is very rough. There are two different epidermal layers in a leaf. The upper epidermis and the lower epidermis both have different characteristics. See this, the upper epidermis is usually continuous without any space. And to increase its efficiency of protection, the upper epidermis of leaf produces an oily or a waxy layer on top of itself. You can see I have drawn one more line on top. That layer, this layer is made up of a waterproof material, water resistant material, a waxy material or an oily material on which water cannot remain for long. Water will slide easily. You have seen many plants, if you drop one drop of water, it will easily glide through the upper surface because the upper surface is coated with oily layer, and this layer is known as the cuticle. The cuticle is the outermost layer, which is waxy layer or water resistant layer, which does not allow water to remain on top of the leaf. What will happen if water remains on the top of leaf? The leaf will get, the cells will get damaged. Too much of water can either dehydrate the cells, it can remove the water from the inside of the cells, or even if water is stagnant on top of the leaf, bacterial activities can harm the cells on top. So a plant does not want that water remains on its leaf. Water should move out. So they produce, the upper epidermis of a leaf produces this waxy layer called the cuticle layer. It does not allow water to remain on top, it moves down. So that is why the upper layer of a leaf will look very smooth and oily. But if you turn the leaf and look at the bottom part of the leaf is very rough and light green in color. And if you see through the microscope, you will find certain gaps, certain spaces or certain pores in the lower epidermis of leaf. These tiny pores present in the lower epidermis of leaf, you must have heard the term, these pores are known as stomata. What are stomata? These stomata are tiny openings in the lower surface of a leaf which allows gaseous exchange from a leaf. Leaf does photosynthesis, and photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide. From where will the plant get carbon dioxide? From the atmosphere around. The atmosphere has carbon dioxide, that carbon dioxide will enter into the leaf in the parenchyma cells where photosynthesis is happening. So how will the carbon dioxide enter and be available for the parenchyma? Through the stomata. These stomata are formed by special epidermal cells. These are special epidermal cells. You can see these two cells here, two cells here. These are special cells that form the stomata. These cells are known as the guard cells. These guard cells keep the stomata open, and sometimes they even close down the stomata. So guard cells can open and close the stomata, and they form the stomata actually. So in a leaf you have two different types of epidermis. Upper epidermis producing cuticle, water resistant layer, and they are continuous layer. Lower epidermis may not be continuous because they have stomata in the middle which allows gaseous exchange, where carbon dioxide has to enter into the leaf. In photosynthesis, oxygen is produced that has to move out of a leaf. And you might have also heard about the process of transpiration. Transpiration is loss of water from the leaves by evaporation. So that happens. How will the water be lost from the leaf? Through the stomata. And when the plant does not have enough water to lose, the stomata will close to prevent water loss. Okay, so this is the epidermis, upper epidermis and lower epidermis. So here we studied about trichomes and root hair. Here we studied about upper epidermis and lower epidermis. And if you see a higher plant, a big plant, a tree, you will find the stem is bit rough, and that rough part is known as the cork, or in simple words we call it the bark of a tree. Bark of a tree in scientific language is known as cork. The cork tissues, the outermost layer of the cell of a tree stem is known as the cork tissues. These cork tissues, the uppermost layer is not cork. Here you might find certain cells here. These cells here in a straight layer, they are the cork tissues and they are continuous. They do not have even the tiniest of openings. These cells here, lower cells are rounded, you can see. They are round because they might be parenchyma or collenchyma. But these cells here, they do not have any gap. They are tightly packed cells. They are known as the cork cells. They are the cork cells. These cork cells, they are tightly packed or cemented together because these produce a chemical known as suberin. The chemical is known as suberin. Suberin is a water impervious layer. Impervious layer means it does not allow water or air to get inside, neither will it allow water or air to move outside. It is an impervious layer. Okay, the layer's name is suberin. The chemical name is suberin. Who produces the suberin? The cork cells, the cork tissues. The cork tissues make the stem impervious to water as well as gases. And then sometimes these cork tissues, they have certain pockets like these. Where they keep on producing cells, and because they are producing cells, the outermost layer might burst open, like here it burst open. So these openings are not called as cork or bark. The opening part of the stem is not called bark. You might have seen a neem tree with lot of openings in the stem, or any big tree. You'll find their stem is brown but opened from many places. These openings are known as the lenticels. Lenticels are not bark. Lenticels are not cork cells. Cork cells are down here. They are producing these cells. They are producing these lenticels also. They are producing the chemical suberin also. Okay, and from where did these cork cells come in the stem? The stem has to produce these cells. From where will the stem produce these cells? Cell production is the work of meristematic tissues. You remember meristematic tissues. And I told you the meristematic tissues present in the stem, all around the stem, are known as cambium. So when a plant grows big, there are special type of cambium cells that produce these cork cells. So these cambium cells in the lateral meristem are known as cork cambium. So cork cells are present in the stem. They make the stem impervious to gases and water, and these cork cells are produced by cork cambium, the meristematic tissues that produces cork. And in turn, these cork produces that chemical called suberin, and also these openings in the stem called lenticles. So epidermis is present in all parts of the plant, all leaf, stem or roots, even fruits, epidermis is present. But here what I meant to show was certain modifications of the epidermis. And with this, we come to the end of all plant tissues. So in class 9, you just need to remember these little functions and structures of various plant tissues that I've taught. Now you will study about animal tissues. Learn them in detail. Keep studying. Bye.